All right. I feel like I have forgotten to send the signal somewhere or start the stream, but I am actually live. Okay, yeah. Sometimes I'll just start streaming and forget to hit the go button on YouTube. China's been loose since we escaped the zoo in '93. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, we grew in. Hey, there's a wild sage. Looky there. I got a. What's going on here? I got a bit of a glare on my monitor. There we go. Just tilted just the wrong way. Forgot today was Tuesday. I thought it was Wednesday for a significant chunk of the day. But that's alright. So normally I make my community post Monday morning, and it's like, here's what I'm doing this week. So I made that post, and I was like, oh, I need to make one for the Open Legend campaign coming up. So I made it, and then scheduled it for the next day, and then went to check it later, and it was like, it just messed me all up. I was like, out of my routine. This is not what I normally do. How will I function? And I'm the one in church. You forgot on Discord? I posted it on Discord. I see it's right there. YouTube pings live and 5 for hanging out. Can't get me. That means you don't have the role and you're not getting pinged. I see what kind of fan you are. Dang. Just adds to all the other drama that's been happening recently. Telling y'all, normally I stay out of like the AI thing, but like it's getting tiresome. It's just everywhere. I heard old Hank Green got busted with it the other day. Oh no, how will we survive? My routine is sacred unless it's a Saturday. There is no routine. That's the thing, you gotta have one day that's just chaos. It's like whatever happens, happens. Like no plans, no nothing. Have the roll on, but pings off. Ah! Is there tea to get spilled? This kind of seems like a few... I mean, I'm sure there's stuff happening all the time, but it seems like my feed, my circles, all of a sudden just got a little flooded with things passing through. Ping, but no pop-up notification. So I'm trying to remember what all I haven't. I haven't looked too much into the Hank Green thing because I don't really watch him anyway. But apparently he like. You remember that clip of some senator or whatever in the courthouse, and he was reading his script. He was reading from something, and there was still the ChatGPT prompt in there, or not the prompt, but like, here's another version that's easier to understand or something like that. And he read it. Like, Hank apparently did something similar. He did that. And I appreciate the pushback. Now here's a whatever. And just kept reading. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't really watch him. He was one of those people, it's like, Glee sent me a couple of his videos and I watched them, but you ever see one of those people that just make you squint at them and you're like, and you don't know why? But I hear he's, you know, pretty popular, pretty cool dude, so I don't know. But some people rub me that way. Have you gotten canceled for stealing D-Toys? I'm not in the drama yet. So the only one that's semi-relative to me in any way, shape, or form was some writing individual. Or he's not it. Well, no, he is. He's trying to be a writer, but he's more of a movie critic than anything. I don't know. It doesn't have anything to do with me, but I was just saying, like, in a circle, I guess. Yeah, I shouldn't replace creativity, but for accessibility purposes, it's awesome. I can take a picture of something and have it described, which is great if you're cooking. That's true. That's true. Academic purpose is also great. I could not find German or Polish sources on my own. think I made my music too quiet. I guess turn it up for me. So, now somebody in the writing sphere got. I don't think he was plagiarizing, but he was helping and supporting somebody else who was plagiarizing. So apparently it's happened like a couple months ago, and I'm just now finding out. It's like, oh no. But we're not here for drama, right? Gets the views though. I'm gonna become a drama channel. That's what we're gonna do. The squirrel finds out. If I ever get caught up in some drama, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Somebody makes a squirrel exposed video. Oh, Twice Dad knows what's up. It's the otter. Yeah. I don't even know who the otter is. It's the guy he was connected to that I was somewhat familiar with. Anthony Grimolga or something. He's got a weird last name. And I watched, the only reason I know him is because I saw this one other video by this other lady. And I even brought her up in a video of mine as that little short red-haired girl. I think Second Story is her name. I watched one or two of her videos. So usually, let me tangent real quick. When I find a YouTuber and I watch them and one video really doesn't sit well, or I'm like, I don't write them off at that point. I usually try and watch one more, and then I'll kind of skim their backlog and see which direction they're changing, if at all. And then I'll, you know, if it's still not sticking, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this person. So Second Story, I watched a couple, and they were like way too pretentious for me. I was like, okay, this is not for me. And then because I had watched a couple of her videos, that Anthony Gengar dude, whatever his name is, he made a video attacking one of the videos I had watched from Second Story. And I was like, well, it felt like a weird video, so let me go see what he's saying. Everything is wrong. So I watched one of his videos, and I was like, dude, you're even worse. So I, you know, did the same thing, looked at another video or two of his in his backlog, and like, nope, this is not for me. So that guy got in trouble with all the otter stuff. And like I said, I'm still picking up the pieces, figuring out what's going on, but like I could care less about either one of those people. I tell you, the writer, there's the writing community, right? And then you shrink in, and then there's like this community within the community that's just so awful. Just the pompous, pretentious douche canoes. Just think they're better than everybody. Pastor who did my dad's funeral in May apparently used AI for his writing. Oh no, it didn't work well. It said my childhood nickname was Little Beth. Huh. That ain't right. Weird situation all around. The weird last name was running defense. Yeah, he was. And it's messed up. Well, hey, we learned something about Sam Chafin. Look at there, as the spouse of a pastor. Old family friend apparently finds AI really helpful. I don't think it was too helpful. Oh, man. Media literacy crowd is a mixed bag between maggots and leeches, but mixed either. That is a great way of putting it. Media literacy. Oh, boy. Turns out they're just illiterate across the board. Yeah, that's the thing, Sage. Like you could say the same thing about the ttrpg community, even the D&D community, right? Like I don't care for D&D, but like you have that big circle. And it's like, yeah, most of these people are okay, and then you shrink in, and there's this other circle that's just like terrible. So, and look at there, live for 5 minutes, and we're already getting bots. Away they go. Your first solo funeral in a week or so, and no AI, man, do we really have to say human-made funeral? Is that what we gotta do now? But yeah, anyway, What's going on with you? More positive notes here. AI's taking over. We're all doomed. That's so dystopian, it's crazy. It is, right? No AI in our funerals. I would hope not. On the brighter side, I gotta find it. What is the brighter side? I might finally have the last shell for nuts. Just kind of came to me last night. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to the Moss and Stone stream Thursday. I would like to do it today, but Moss and Stone's on Thursday. So we got some inclinations to make there. The mold needs a buff, and probably some other species. I gotta actually go over them with a fine-tooth comb. Novel is... I am on chapter... I explained this to y'all last time. I'm on like 32 out of 25, which makes no sense. But that's because the book is expanding. So that's good, but it is getting close to the end. I feel like there was something else that's significant that happened. That was maybe not significant, but kind of cool. The turtle's still here. Gen Con happened. I didn't do anything there. I stayed home. What did happen? Maybe I'm just thinking about the Open Legend campaign coming up. Because that's something we've been... Not Open Legend specifically, but doing the Sum Shots is something we have been talking about for a while, and that's official. It's a go. Like, we got everybody set up. Everybody's ready to go. We got Carrie, Blind Bard, GM Ben. They're all in the chat, and they're all going to be part of the crew, and Great Moustache is going to run it. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to use that character I talked about that I played at the convention, but he was way more silly at the convention. Like, he was this angry, drunken dwarf who just shouted at people, and that buffed him. I think I'll take away the silliness and just make him like an actual mage or something that buffs. It'll be the exact same tool kit, just different flavor. So, what is D&D Universes Beyond? I don't know that. From work. That's pretty good. At Gen Con. Hi, I'm Lost Sage. What is D&D Universes something that was at Gen Con? Or like a new product line or something? We live in the boring dystopia. Yeah. Very true. Very true. Oh, there was one thing I was thinking of. Let's say, so I have been, not to turn it back around to the negative, but the next video I've been working on, I've been editing it this week and a little last week, is about AI and writing. And, you know, it's essentially, hey, AI writing isn't very good, but instead of me just saying AI bad, here is why what you already write is better than AI. So I brought back the infamous... I don't know if y'all remember this, but I brought this back. It's the DQ Blizzard. And I realized while I was editing the video that there is actually one piece of information in here. Let's see if I can... I got a new whiteboard today, so... Right here. Oh, man, that doesn't work. Wait a minute. I don't know how to use this thing. What happened to my, Oh, I know what happened. There we go. That was much lighter than I thought it was. That's probably just the wrong color. There we go. Cotton candy sprinkles. That is the only thing this entire block of text tells us that's in this Blizzard. Everything else is pure fluff. So... It's a fun video, though, because I get to use a ttrpg with AI stuff in it. I get to use a LinkedIn post. Also soft serve. Yeah, well, I mean, it'd be weird if the Blizzard didn't have that in it. A LinkedIn post, the DQ ad, and a ttrpg. And just show, like, hey, see, no matter what you're doing, this all sounds and looks the same. So, even if your writing is super bad as you say it is, it will still be better. It'll at least be different. So, why did we do that? Product contains no fluff. All right, let's see. I gotta catch up on some of this. Basically, they're taking on other IPs to expand 5e. Oh gosh. I know Universe Beyond for Magic the Gathering is just stuffing it full of crossover. They're doing it to D&D. Wow! Multiverses for 5e. That sounds pretty horrible. That sounds like product. World of Warcraft star. I did see something about World of Warcraft in D&D. But see, that's the thing. When something comes across my feed and it's anything D&D, it just keeps going. Because I have zero interest in it, which I probably should be a little more interested in it and keep myself apprised of. But not really. I wrote up an initial draft of the rules to my ttrpg. My rules are still being worked on. Do I send it to players ahead of playtests, or do I continue explaining the rules? I mean, dang it, chat, quit moving. If it's like a super simple game with like Tricube, I don't think it'd matter either way, but I would imagine there's at least a handful of rules. So, do I send players ahead? I would send it. That's the way I've been doing things. It's like, hey, here's the current version of rules, and if, you know, you try and wait as long as you can, but not right before game time, so they do have time to read it. Before you send it out, try to get to a place you're comfortable for testing, and then don't work on it. But if you like have a killer idea between now and then, I would just reach out and say, hey, I changed this one thing. So that's it. So all that to say, yes, I would send it to them with a big warning that says in development. That said, the World of Warcraft box set has a level 1620 adventure raid into the Ice Crown Citadel, which is pretty cool. There are flavors of bad. I'd argue sprinkles are just sugar flavor, same as cotton candy, so cotton candy sprinkles is still zero. Yeah, I mean, it's not much, but it is. I can't rightfully say nothing at all, which is what I wanted to do. It's like, well, it has a sprinkle in it. We got that much. For my slop made by man. It's an obvious cash grab, and Dark Sun is finally coming to 5e. Yeah, I was saying. That's what I was saying. It just sounds like product. Send it to players so the obsessive ones can learn it before the game. Ben's calling himself out. Actually did Diablo 2 in 2nd edition and Warcraft in 3rd, and like 3 versions of Star Wars. Depends on what you focus on. Is it rules, function, explanations, readability, workflow? Send it. Fortnite and D&D. Yeah, man, let's go. I can see that. I'm honestly surprised it hasn't already been done. I guess the overlap between Fortnite and D&D just wasn't enough. Well, I don't know what did they not do a Strangers thing Fortnite anything? I hate that this is a question I'm asking. I can see that happening. Test it tomorrow? Yeah. I mean, unless it's like a super simple game, because like when I was making nuts, before I had like all these skills or anything, like there was just some like really basic concepts I wanted to test. I just grabbed a couple friends and say, hey, you guys want to get together and try something out on this date and time? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then they showed up and I was just like, all right, this is how this is going to work. Because I just want to see what happens. And it worked. So if that's all you're doing, you know, if you're that early on. And that was back when it's pretty much just roll a d12 and tell me what you want to do, then roll a d12. I'll make up a number. And it went from there. That question inflicts 2d4 psychic at least. And it's super effective. Oh. But what is your game about? Or at least tell me what the setting is. Is it setting agnostic? Do you have your own custom fantasy or sci-fi world you made? There's the P-Tor. We're looking at ice cream again. Talking about the next video coming up. Oh, how was Gen Con? I saw the pictures earlier. And I called everybody losers in it, I believe. I wish I would have got to Gen Con this year. Because like last year, everybody was like, oh, this is the one time I'm not going. I was like, and then everybody this year was like, I'm going, are you? No, can't afford it. I did. That's me showing love and affection. Look at all those lovely, wonderful losers. Having a good time without me. It's the worst. Also, I meant to have this. Oh, there was this. Oh my gosh. Look what Ben sent. Is this for real? Jeez. Is that for real? There was a Strangers Thing bundle. Or Fortnite thing, whatever. Good golly. Still planning on January? Yeah, so that's Paige, right? Let me make a note to like proper look into that, because I said that last stream and then whoop, went right out of my mind. Let me put a note on my board here. Look into Paige and I guess Anpax. Alright. But yeah, the goal, the desire is there and I want to go, so. And Glee's been dying to get out of the house and go somewhere. Could have sworn I've seen the Demigorgon hitting the gritty. Looking at the Word doc, it is currently at 34 pages, but most of that... chat's moving on me. Most of that is tables and notes for me. I could tell them what pages read the rules about 6. So that's my problem. When I have these documents, I'll usually just have like a bunch of brain notes for me or whatever, and it would be nonsense for them to read. So what I'll do is I'll make a copy of that file and just remove all my notes and just leave the important bits. Like, it might be a rough read, but that keeps them... That's like, hey, only the stuff you need is what's in there, so. Met Phil, the guy who runs Page, chatted with him for a while, and he's tempting me to go, particularly as a vendor. Ooh. Make this page as an attendant. You should. And then we can hang out again. A lot about D&D Agenda is trying to announce Greyhawk and Dragonlance is anything new when it's been around for at least 40 years. Glee will be coming... Oh, to EcclesiaCon. I don't know about that one. But to Page. I believe, anyway. Doing Universe Beyond nonsense is like LEGO doing mostly licensed sets. The diehards don't like it, but it makes so much money. Yeah, it do. Oh, you're maybe going to Page? I thought you were all about Page. Or are you talking about EcclesiaCon? Be your first out-of-state convention. Well, all mine are out-of-state. Yeah. Hadrosor, definitely an easy read version for the players. Parsing down a player copy can be good, especially it can help you. Yeah, and it's also good for you in the sense, like, there's been a few, well, I say for you, I'll just expose myself. There's been a few times when I've tried to clean up, send stuff to players, I've realized I've had 2 or 3 versions of the same rule in there, and I never really decided which one to go with, so. And when you're pruning it and trimming it up, you can also sometimes find a hole in there, and you're like, oh crap, I forgot this. Like, I need to define this or something. Maybe Dark Mecha could be available for playtest. I could keep it in my bag as a backup. There you go. Alright, let me get this stupid Fortnite thing off my... I don't want to look at that. That's depressing. You know, Fortnite looked to be a good game before it became the Battle Royale nonsense. Like, it was supposed to be a co-op, fend off the waves of zombies. Like, that's why you could build. The idea was to shoot some zombies, get resources, build a fort, and survive the night. Then they were like, while we're working on that, here's a little battle royale you can do in the meantime. And then the world was like, oh my gosh, battle royales are awesome. And then they had to put battle royales in. I'm glad that phase is over, for the most part. I hated it so much. This is so dumb. Fallout 76 was like, we should have a battle royale. It's like, no, you shouldn't. There is no reason on this world why Fallout needs a battle royale mode. Depends onward. Saxophone squirrel on screen for this music. I don't have like a animated thing to put him on there. I can just move him around myself with my mouse. Let's see, let's do this. Oh, my YouTube chat refreshed again. There we go. I can do this while I'm chatting. That do it? Is that what you want? Manual saxophonery. Make him go. I have a saxophone. Somebody got a squirrel. Quality streaming. That's right. No AI around here. This is all manual human work. All right, we'll just sit here and do this. My arm's gonna get tired. He's a saxophony. Saxophone bank unless you... Well, so I guess you weren't around at the time, and a lot of people probably weren't. So the money squirrel with the shades and the necklace, the money necklace, that was a thing because he was going to be my sponsorship squirrel. Whenever I did a sponsorship, I was like, yeah, let's bring out the money squirrel because he's just here to make the money. That was the joke. Well, I never got a sponsorship. And then I decided to use him for some random music opening thing. And I was like, oh, he's got the shades. I'll just go with the necklace, and gave him a saxophone. And then like one video had that and everybody loved it. So then I tried it on transitions, and then everybody's like, that's fantastic. So Money Squirrel became Music Squirrel. It was a natural occurring phenomenon. And to this day, I have still not been sponsored. Well, that's not entirely true. Blaze from World Shapers sponsored a video, but I feel like that doesn't count. When I think of sponsorship, I think of like a company reaching out to you. I have had a couple offers. They weren't very good. But some were also just atrocious. One was both atrocious and not a very good offer. It was for some stupid mobile app, Block Blast. I was going to say Block Party. Block Blast. It's some cheap thing. It was probably just an information collecting app. And they wanted to pay me next to nothing to stream it for like 2 hours. And I was like, no, absolutely not. I've had... trying to think. I've had a few people in the ttrpg space reach out and say they wanted a sponsorship, and they inquired about price, but I always tell them no, but you can come on the channel and do an interview. You're not going to just pay me to review this. Like, You come here, you run the game for me, and then if we want to do an interview, we can, and then I will do a review of it when I get to it. And a lot of, well, not a lot of them, but some of them back down from that. They're like, I don't want to do all that. I just wanted to give you money. Well, no, you gotta do the work, bud. No, Raid Shadow Legend never sent me one, and I wish. See, I feel like this is what's aggravating. I have curated this community, right? To the best of my ability. People should know Raid Shadow Legends is garbage. So if I did a sponsorship for them, I wish my community would be like, ha ha, he took Raid Shadow Legends money, get that bag, you know? But I know some people would be mad, like, how dare you promote this garbage? It's like, guys, I should be promoting it to a brick wall with this community. You guys should know better. It's like, this is free money for me. Let me have it. But you can't do that. That block thing was yeah, like I got the emails, and then a couple weeks later or so after that, I started seeing it everywhere. The people that took the sponsorships, and it's like, oh, okay. Squirrel cannot be bought. Well, he can. He's just expensive. Yeah, this whole thing has been Mega Man 3. But yeah, let's see. If you show for EcclesiaCon, I'll get Wes to make you brownies. Ooh, the temptations. The temptation is high. Oh man, this thing reset again. My goodness. So, anyway, I think that's about all that's been sent to me or requested. Like when I was very early on in the YouTube thing, I was reaching out to folks like Rocketbook. I was like, hey, I use your guys' crap all the time. Like, throw me some money, man. Never heard back from them. I reached out to Displate, I think it was, which I guess is a good thing. They never answered me because apparently they got in trouble with AI or something. So this was before all that. Oh, dude, Mega Man music is like top tier. It's fantastic. And there's... Well, here, I'll play you. This is one So there's this track from Mega Man 2 that, like, every guitarist learns to play if they are in the video game music space. And it was one that it was like one of the, not the first ones I learned to play, but when I actually started learning how to play guitar and could handle it, I went straight to that track. Then this was like pre-YouTube, before I knew everybody else was doing the same thing. Let's see. It's such a weird name. Here it is. All right, so let me pause this. Oh wait, that's just turning it up for me. If you go looking for any video game remixes, you will find not this track specifically, but this track from the game. Or I guess not this remix specifically. This is one of my favorites. We gotta get to the actual song. Tested the new rules for Ronins of No Man's Land with my cousins. They liked it. Very good. This track. Dr. Wily's Cat. Yeah, you already know. Mega Man 2. Yeah. This was a very fun one to play on the guitar. Wily's Cat. But anyway, you get the idea. It's a good one. Mega Man 2 just had a lot of good music. Mega Man 3 had a lot. but the X series, X1, 2, and 3. 2 was a little too synthesized for me, but it was still good. But Mega Man X1 had some absolute bangers, and X3 leaned into the Guns N' Roses sound, we will say, because the guy behind the music was a huge Guns N' Roses fan. So their first war game, and they didn't die of boredom. That is pretty good. One of your few games, dude. Mega Man 2 is great. So me and my buddy, we played it all the time, just cruising through it. It's still better than most Mega Man games, I feel like. And you know, I don't know how true the story is, and I've mentioned it a couple times, I feel like. So the story I have heard behind Mega Man 2 is that Mega Man 1 came out, and it was so-so, you know, as far as sales go and everything. So Capcom was like, no more of these. But the crew that worked on it really wanted to do another one. So something happened, and Capcom was like, yeah, sure, you can work on it using all of our equipment, but it's after hours on your own time. And the crew was like, sure, because we want to make it. And if Capcom would still let them publish it or something. And I've heard a couple variations of this, but the common denominator for the most part was you're going to work on it after hours on your own time. But like, you can use all our equipment and everything. So I don't know what kind of deal was worked out. Like, hey, if we publish it and sell it, what happens? But anyway, it was just that crew working on it with not really any overhead, which is no surprise as to why it was so much better, because they didn't have all the pencil pushing red tape managers and all that. So it was just that one little crew that worked on it, and then they put it out. And that's why the ending of Mega Man 2 is the way it is. Like, you beat up Wily, and then as the credits are rolling, you just see Mega Man kind of walking through the different seasons, and then the last image you see is just his helmet. Like, it's over, because they were like, yeah, we're done. We're not going to make any more of these. This was just our little kind of a fan project, but I mean, we made the first one, so it was just like their so long farewell kind of thing. We wanted one more on the way out, and then that one just sold like crazy, and then Capcom was like, hey, make another one. I was like, oh, okay. And then we got 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and it just kept going. Mega Man X was mind-blowing in every single way. Oh man, it was so good. Jaquin saw bamboo grenades and just loaded up on them. It's a little unbalanced. There was a proof of concept that Mega Man 2 and 3 were like the full realization. Yeah, and you know, that's the thing, like it's really impressive when you start doing deep dives into the old NES and like things they used to do and how they used to push that hardware. And how limited it was and how they were still able to push it. But like each Mega Man game that came out, they were figuring more and more things out, how they can push it and so forth and so on, and actually use its limitations to their advantages and stuff. So like some of those levels that start bogging down and lagging, that was intentional. They're like, okay, this would normally, if you unlock this and made it 60 FPS or whatever, it becomes insanely harder. Like they took the lag into account, so it's interesting. But yeah, X, when Mega Man X came out, dude, that was nuts. And you know, what's his name, Ego Raptor or whatever, did that breakdown on the intro level for Mega Man X, which still stands true to this day. I mean, the video style might not hold up as well, but everything he says about it is still rock solid and very accurate. And I love that Mega Man style level design. Sequelitis, yeah. Yep, that guy. Just how it shows you things in the natural flow through the level. It's just like, here's the thing, watch out, and then it comes for real, and you know, just little warnings and tidbits, and it slowly introduces you to something, and then it escalates through the level. And you know, to steal his own video here. There's no pop up of somebody going, Mega Man, watch out for the blocks. It's so funny. Trying to think, like the weird thing about Mega Man X though was it wasn't weird. It's just after you played the other ones and you look back at that one, it's like it's weird that the dash boots you got were just the capsule was like blocked your path. Like, you have to find this. Raptor is Aaron of the Game Grumps, and yeah, good insights on those videos. Yeah, I think that might be the only one I've seen, but I've watched it a few times. It's good. Because like I said, it's all right. It's all correct what he says. Those level designs were fantastic. Tutorials hidden in the level design kind of thing. But it's pretty wild. But you know, Mega Man X had the Spark Mandrill theme. We all know that one, right? There was that, what's the guy that makes the Terminal Montage? If you guys have ever seen his videos. I know Builder B likes Terminal Montage. But he had that one, it was a Mega Man, and he went through Spark Mandrill's level, and it had the music in the background. And Mega Man was like, this song's pretty good. He only did a handful, presumably Game Grumps took up his time since, but man, you could write a book on Mega Man X. You really could. Cause yeah, it just did everything so well. I mean the Mega Man series. For a good time, watch something about it. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, they just there was that respect for the player. Like, you're not an idiot. You can figure this out as you're playing. But even if you're a new player, you will still be fine. But to grow up with Mega Man was so awesome because you know I was a little kid when he was the little blue bomber, right? When he was basically Mega Boy, not Mega Man, because he was a kid in the early Mega Man games, right? And you know, you run around, and then by the time X came out, I don't think I was quite a teenager, but I was getting older, so it's like I grew up, you know, literally grew up with Mega Man, not just, oh, those were the games I was playing as I grew up. It's like, no, as he developed through those games, so did I. So to play Mega Man on the regular Nintendo, then see that leap to Super Nintendo, oh man. And that was what I thought was really cool. Like, that's a thing people don't get anymore, right? When, you know, we have all the next generation consoles, but I feel like the past couple consoles and the past couple leaps in PC gaming, not much has really changed, right? Not much in the sense when you look back from going from Nintendo to Super Nintendo to Nintendo 64. Like, those were massive leaps. So the experience of playing, you know, 4 or 5 Mega Man games on regular Nintendo, leaping over to Super Nintendo where everything's different and the character you play as still the same character, but he grew too. Like, he got more powerful with the system and the hardware and everything. It's like, oh, that was an experience most people won't get to have anymore, which is unfortunate. Just did a dump of the rules for my players. The ones I usually have to explain. It's 6 pages, and I realized I haven't reviewed any of these sections in a while, and how badly written they are. Well, see, there you go. Now you got something to do. Always watch Terminal Montage with closed captions. Yeah, he likes to slip some things in there. That's actually where I think he was the one that got me doing that. I saw him doing that when I made my videos. I started trying to hide little things in there. Not very often, but I do sometimes. But I feel like, yeah, because the past couple of videos I did were the interview things, and I didn't have all the written stuff for that, so. Painful to read again. Yeah. Oh. But yeah, like, think about it. So I didn't have a PlayStation 4, or I guess I had a 3. But like, was there much difference between 4 and 5? or the last couple Xboxes. I mean, I'm so behind on consoles. I just don't care. Because I've been using computer for the past many years, we'll say, and it just there just aren't those leaps anymore. Like the leap from Morrowind to Oblivion is like, whoa. That sounds like Magnet Man. So I don't know. That is a fond memory I have of childhood, of seeing new systems come out, and then just the gigantuar leaps in technology we took, which 8-bit to 16-bit. It's like, woo. No. But at the time, it was a gigantic leap, all right? Oh, we had an Atari 2600 and that's it. We were poor and read books and played outside. The Atari still works. I still had a lot of outside time too. But I sure enjoyed my Nintendos. It's amazing how big the tech jumps used to be. The only ones I saw was the takeover of touchscreens. Yeah, and touchscreens were just crap for the longest time. So, years and years ago, touchscreens, or, they weren't even screens. Like the old restaurants, or not old restaurants back then, they would have this, like McDonald's, for example. Their register just had this panel with just pictures, right? Like, and that like a little icon picture and then a little text like large fry, medium fry, boop, 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 and they would push those. Things like that worked so poorly because they weren't. There were even some screens but they were looking for pressure, like you had to actually press, and then somewhere along the line they figured out, oh, your finger, your body, gives off a little electrical signal, so we can use that. So whenever you actually touch the screen instead of press it, whoop, and that's, why smartphones are so much better. But yeah, I remember when they would call them screens, but you had to really press them sometimes because they get wore out. And you couldn't, because it was imitating a screen or hiding behind a giant panel, you couldn't replace the one button. So big pain. Keep buying the retro console HDMI output and plays. Yeah. Satellite phone, pager. Oh man, I remember pagers. Never had one, but my dad did. And I remember, yeah, it was a little PDA, and that personal digital assistant, right? His work gave him one of those, but I don't think he ever used it. Or for some reason, I got my hands on it. And he's like, hey, yeah, you can play around with this. I don't care. And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I was like, oh, man, I can do so much on here. And never used it for anything, but it blew little Scrat's brain. Oh man, I can write all kinds of notes on here. And of course, back then, early 90s, of course it didn't work worth a damn. It's like everything was so difficult to do on it. There was no advertisements on it though, I'll give it that. That was nice, and it didn't have to connect to the internet for everything. So maybe it wasn't so bad. I remember the Blackberries. I had a Blackberry imitation. It was that, screen and the full keyboard, but it wasn't actually Blackberry brand. But man, I really liked that phone. I thought it was nice. Program ringtones. Yeah. You remember when people sold ringtones? They had websites trying to take your money, so you 99-cent ringtones. I'm telling you, man. Whenever there's money to be made, all the roaches come out. The unbreakable Nokia. That's right. Thing was a brick. Brick and a half. Let's see. Oh, I don't like the way that zooms in. So if we do... This is all my squirrels. Well, not all of them. But... He's not a music squirrel. He's just... There's a squirrel on a Segway. There's Money Squirrel in his swim trunks. Now I expect you guys can name every video these squirrels are in. And one with a wig. Okay, how come sometimes it zooms in and sometimes it doesn't? What's up with endings getting worse? Danger zone! Talking about like endings in video games? Ringtones were a selling point. Heck yeah. Squirrel Squad. So yeah, well that is something I used. I don't know if this is what you were talking about, Twice did, but endings in video games was something young Scrat had a humongous problem with. Because I felt like maybe mid 64 to right at the end of 64, video game endings just no effort. Like there were several games I played and was like, that's it? Media in general, can't remember something big getting a good ending. Oh, okay, so that's something different. Well, I'm fussing about video game endings. But like Super Mario RPG, you got this fantastic ending, like this long cutscene, and then the credits was just this whole parade and everything. Like it just kept going, and it was a wonderful track. I even like it like Mario 64. Technically, that wasn't much of an ending, but it was still very good. You know, you come down, you see Princess Peach, she's like, all right, let's go make him a cake. But then they would do the thing, and this was kind of more of a Mario thing in general, just like as the credits are going up, you take a look back at everything you adventured through. I like it when games do that. They're like, look at this. And plus, Mario games typically have a very good track for the end. So that was okay. But like, sometime after that, they started going downhill. It's like, yeah, it was just credits rolled the end. It's like, congratulations, thanks for playing our game. It's like, what? It's like, I did all that? And I feel robbed. Portal had a very good ending. Super Mario RPG was so dang good. 10 out of 10 for sure. What's up, Cyros? I'm trying to think. In some of the Mega Man games, like Mega Man's not a very, you know, story-rich game, but there was still something there, and like the Mega Man X story kind of got messed up. Like they had plans and then they got changed, but like they were always teasing you at the end of the game, or some of them, like, hey, your buddy Zero, you're going to have to fight him at some point, and you're like, why, what's going on? You know, had me tripping. But a winner is you. Valve discovered the infinite money glitch and won't be making games anymore. I know, right? Horrible. You know, quit while you're ahead, and that way you can go down in history as a legend. MOBA shooter in the works, and the rest of their IPs right in the background. Yeah, that's silly. I agree. I'm trying to think of some other games that had some really gnarly endings. Just got the final piece of artwork for my book, and it's all this. Hey-o! Heck yeah! Am I allowed to put it on the board? Is it safe to put on the board? There's like somebody's guts falling out. Middle of designing a slice of life game using a lighter version of my rules. Hey, you were talking about that the other day. I have thy permission. Fantastic. I know you're just here to use me for advertising. It's fine. It's fine. Let's see, where you put it? DM, or are you gonna drop it in the big chat? Final Fantasy XIV has a new expansion, another one. I just don't have time for MMOs, man. You know, since we're fussing and longing for the days of old, am I incorrect to say that I feel like older video games respected your time a lot more? And I say that as a guy who played games like Final Fantasy, right? Who, you know, they had some grinding to them. Wow. Man, that guy about to get squished. That's the Fortnite thing again. I love how I have to copy things from Discord. Okay, maybe I have to do it 3 times. I am right-clicking, I am hitting copy image, and I go over here to paste. That time, nothing pasted. Okay. Oh, file size too big. Oh, no. Alright, let's do this. Dramatic reveal. Dun, 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 dun. We did giveaways for your trifold. It's super popular. Very good. Very good. Did you play it at Gen Con? They respected you more than we got micro economies and forever. Oh gosh, yeah. And the forever thing just needs to stop. But also, I zoomed in too much. Do not enter. I don't think that will be a problem. Canadiris. Ha, that's a good name. I look very cool. Ha! Well, thanks, man. Just hoping you're not a bot. We get a lot of those on Twitch. The new game is like a workplace sim. Sessions are based on working shifts at a job the players create. Under a manager, they also create. Oh no. You can make yourself a cool manager. Open for business. That's a good name. Yeah, look at that drill. It's gnarly. Look at it. Is this guy about to get stepped on? Got the backhoe hand. We did not play Oil Water Teeth at Gen Con. We did the ones we had terrain for. Yeah, that would be hard to make terrain for that one. Just put a bucket of water on the table. It's like, all right, here you go. Oh. Big Daddy energy from the mech. Yeah, man. Still in the squirrel discussion, I did Google search. The Smithsonian owned a saber-toothed squirrel from 40 million years ago. The article I found was from 2022, so they might not still have it. Oh no! Not my prehistoric squirrel. Just dump water on. It's like, you fell in! Just dump the water bucket on him. No, you're the GM, so you just have this massive bucket of water on the table. Like, that's your map, and you're walking around the table. Whenever somebody fails their roll, you just grab their head, dunk them in the bucket. That's what we call an immersive experience. You don't want to do the neck? That is a pretty cool picture, though, man. I guess that beastie is probably on par with a giant turtle, right? What do you call the monstrosities or whatever, the threat when they get to that level? Just massive runaway, do not engage. That's pretty cool, though. Look at smoke. Oh, you got little satellites on him. There's like so much different technology on this guy. Or so much different levels. So cool. Very cool. But yeah, what was I saying? The video game time? The excavator bot is a unique threat. You are not meant to fight it head on, but try to disable its reactor or just run. Cowboy Titanfall. But yeah, the respect, like there was, so for video games, you know, there was, here's the adventure, and I feel like, I know a lot of people say the old Final Fantasy games or similar style games are like, oh, you had to grind, you had to grind. I always felt like the grind was optional. Like it was the, okay, I'm struggling because I'm not very good at this game, I'm not understanding mechanics, whatever the case may be, so I can just go over here and fight monsters over and over and over and over and over and over again and get stronger, so I can bypass the part I'm having trouble with. And I thought that was cool. It's like, oh no, you know, if I'm struggling, I can just go grind it out, fight things. But yeah, you know, there are games that like legit, you know, they're called roguelites. They make you grind. Are there satellites in TFE? They had a space race? Maybe. I enjoy grinding. Like, that's the thing, man. Like, sometimes it can be enjoyable. And that's kind of like why I fuss about the roguelites, because it's a grind, but they take so much away from you each loop, and like it feels like a pointless grind. Whereas I might need 10,000 experience points in a JRPG, but when I get 100 experience points, they're mine. I keep them. They don't just magically go poof, and I keep 10 of them. So this might gross some of y'all out, but I remember. This is classic. Well, not classic, but Scratch childhood, right? No responsibilities, the times I longed for. So, I had Final Fantasy VII on the computer, and I was prepping for the Sephiroth fight. I was like, okay, I know that's what's coming up. I'm on disc 4 or whatever. I'm on the overworld map. Everything looks to be lining up, so now it's time to grind out these characters. Well, I also had Pokemon on the Game Boy. So I, being the intellectual I am, and the genius, I kicked back in my chair, and I'm not going to put my feet on stream nor on my keyboard, but I was playing Final Fantasy VII with my toes on the keyboard and Game Boy in hand, and I was just leveling up Pokemon and leveling up my characters in Final Fantasy VII at the same time. I'm telling you, I was too advanced for what they were giving me. I couldn't do that now if my life depended on it, but I could then. They never made it to space, no, but I don't know, why not? The book doesn't say they didn't. The pre-calamity tech is meant to be mysterious. Wondrous. CFE in Soviet Union country work real nice, giant mechs wouldn't be scary. You can go real hard on a space race, and aliens too. Ooh! People of the time thought aliens would look like. And that's how he won over Glee. That's right. She came in and she was like, oh my gosh, she's playing 2 games at once. Not one limb is wasted in the scenario. It's all about the efficiency. Grinding should be available, but not mandatory. With good play. Yeah. In my opinion, that's not easy to achieve, especially with deadlines. Yep. Well, and that's you know, that's a problem for a lot of things. It's just deadlines, rushing to get out the door, and blah 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 blah, you know. Nothing gets tested, and that's, you know, I enjoy a big game like Skyrim. There's so many different things going on, but I would rather that company take 10 years or whatever, like they do for Elder Scrolls games or Fallout games, because when they come out, they're so much fun. And I know people love to fuss about them and complain them, but you know, they're still playing them. So they must be good. Instead of trying to rush out, you know, this huge open world game in like a few years, and then you get the game and you're like, yeah, the whole map, it's big, but it's empty. Destiny 2, but I ain't grinding, dude. Yeah. Well, didn't Destiny 2 recently shut down or something? Also, we have looped on the music. Let's try another one. Ain't getting updates no more. Oh no. I got a buddy who was super into Destiny 2. Probably still is. But yeah, I am very much over the games as a service and, you know, infinite content. It's like, no. Just please just make the game, wrap it up, release it, and then move on to your next project. Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, the same game pretty much, but they were different enough and they were all very enjoyable in their own little ways. Don't make Mega Man with 4 bosses and then add 2 more, you know, a month later, and then 2 more again, and then some extra Wily stages, and then a boss after Wily, and then 4 more bosses to fight before you, you know, just stop it, man. I don't know, Foxhole. Which one? What's that? Let's go look it up. I've heard Dragon Quest games are super grindy, and I bought Dragon Quest 11 recently. Enjoying it so far. Foxhole Airborne? Is that what it's called? Massively multiplayer. Well, that war game, military base building, and massively multiplayer. That sounds like grinding. Looks neat though. Player-driven supply lines and logistics. Whoa. Interesting experience trying to design a game for a genre that's not really my thing. Hey, Peter's doing that. He said he was gonna poke my brain about some rules light stuff, but he never did. He found out my brain's small and useless. I don't really get cozy games, so I'm just making a game where cozy is possible. Well, speaking of Peter and rules light games, I'm assuming at Gen Con you tried your comic one, and you had another one, right? Got 100 hours out of Dragon Quest 11? Sweet. I'm not very far. I don't even remember. I started playing it, and then Pal World 1.0 came out, and I started playing that. EDF is grindy. Or it can be. EDF is such a weird game. I can't get over it. It is such a strange experience. Like, you look at it and you're like, okay, this is just shoot bugs. And it's like, oh no, it's like you have this party composition. You got these roles that you fill and you do not get out of those roles at all. And like, oh, you play it on easy, then normal, then hard, then whatever. You just keep going and you loop through the difficulty. Man, it is a strange experience. It's grindy as hell, but I enjoy just getting on the game with a few friends and just... Oh, you're talking about the war one. Alright. Yeah. We ran Sticky Note Comics RPG, and it was super fun. We also played Joust. That's what I was thinking it was called, but I didn't want to be wrong. And Toast. I don't know anything about Toast. Nobody expects guerrilla warfare for 6 guys. But like, Earth Defense 4. Earth Defense Force 4. I have 52 hours in. EDF 5, I have 37 hours in. 6, I have 18 hours in, and we're still playing that. World Brothers, I have 73 hours in. So like, oh, and Iron Rain. Iron Rain doesn't count. That was very different. Every time I think I got that game figured out, I don't. And there was like a wild, convoluted story going on in EDF, and you just would not think so. You look at it and you're like, okay, this is a cheap game they just slapped together, shoot bugs. No. It's got a lot more going on with it, man. Toast is a silly poison drink party game where you're trying to figure out where the poison drinks are and make sure the right people drink or don't drink them. Early prototype stage. All right. It's got Absalom, solid beat. What is that? That sounds kind of familiar. I got, speaking of beat 'em ups, oh, I spelled it wrong and I saw it. Beat 'em up roguelike. Honestly, I could tell that just by the art style. Which is weird. It's weird how roguelites have an art style they gravitate towards. I was gonna say, I bought the, is it Dragon Warrior? I should know this, I was talking about old games. How many games do I have that start with dragon? I don't even see it on here. Oh no. Double Dragon. That's the name of it, right? Yeah, Double Dragon Gaiden, or how do you say that? So I got that a while back. And it was fun. And that was like a roguelite. I actually appreciated the way they did that. That was very neat. And I really enjoyed the last level. That was fun. Where they brought in the OG theme. And then that got me super stoked for the Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge, I think it was called. And I got it, and man, that was disappointing. Like, it was super fun, but it was so short and just had no variation. As I say, the way Double Dragon did theirs was you still had to go through all the same levels, but like, depending on the route you took, they would change. So like, each map, I think, had 4 sections to it. And each section got progressively harder, but the first place you picked, you only played 1 section. Then the second place, you played 2 sections. Then the third place you picked, you played 3. You know, they just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So, like, if you were one you really didn't like, you'd play it first. That way it'd be the smallest. Which was pretty neat, so that shook up how it worked and could play. But the Shredder's Revenge was just so short in it, but it was fun. But I just had, once I got to the end, I had no desire to play it again. Was the thing. Move across the world map, and the individual stages have a few variations. Yeah. So, I would like a good, well, I was gonna say modern, but we were just talking about how terrible modern games are. You know, modern visuals and technology and stuff. Good beat 'em up. Y'all remember the bouncer? That was like PlayStation 1 or 2. Golly, let's see if I can find that. The Bouncer. PS2. I think this was Square. Didn't Square make this? Yeah. This was Kingdom Hearts in their edgy teenage years. I had a buddy who had this game. He picked it up and we played the crap out of it. It was so dumb. But you know, just to beat 'em up, walk around. I miss those games. See you later, Peter. The Bouncer. It's good times. Was it Sora? Sora's the character from Kingdom Hearts. What is TFEG? Oh, Tales from Elsewhere. Bug? What's a bug? Oh, big toe press X. Oh, man. Can you imagine Square trying to make a game like this now? I did derp for a minute there. You ain't gotta call me out, don't care. He's so mean. He's so mean. I'll make sure not to buff you in our Open Legend campaign. I will buff everybody but you now. Double Dragon was pretty fun. But see, that's the thing, like, I liked a lot about Double Dragon, the newer one, but I really preferred Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movement. Like, you were very grounded in Double Dragon and slow. And I get, like, that's just how those games were, and they were sticking to that. But I liked how in Turtles you had way more maneuverability, a lot looser. India's becoming the new punk purely. Oh yeah. It's been like that for a while, man. I would argue 10 years or more at this point. Arcade base while wearing roller skates. Oh yeah. Dang, Carrie was living the dream. Rolling around on skates in the arcade. So yeah. You know, I could never do roller skates, the 4-wheel quad thing, but rollerblades were fine. I loved rollerblades. Golden Axe plus run-based progression. But I was gonna say, like, as far as the indie thing goes, like, they're maybe not just as bad as AAA studios or in games and like whatnot, but they are kind of just as bad. I mean, there's a lot of indies out there just trying to make a buck, you know, do whatever and say whatever you want to hear, you know, it's the same thing. And there's some people out there that think indie just means pure and innocent and safe. No. They're just as bad. Had a fun beat 'em up. Y'all remember Samurai Showdown? My buddy was asking me about that just the other day. Let's see. That was one that was at our local skating rink for the longest time. Where's like the OG? If I just put OG, will that? Look at that. Alright, I never played that one that much though. Maybe once or twice. I never got into Mortal Kombat. I remember seeing Mortal Kombat when I was a little kid and was like, that just looks stupid. People are people. Yeah, it's like people. It's the same way in the TTRPG space. I mean, it's everywhere. People are people, and I think that's what a lot of people forget or don't realize or try to ignore. It's like, hey, all these like, you know, big bad corporations, you know, they're run by people. So what's the difference? You know, it's just they it worked for them. They won. Like, but there's other people trying to do that. So, setting up a new mic. I'm so tired. Just put it on the coaster. Hey, well, the mic you used last time when we did the Bashkim stream, that was super clear. I remember we had. Yeah, like when you first logged in, it was using the wrong mic, and then when you switched over to it, like it was real good. Glitch production ain't indie no more. I can't call you that. Why you got money from the Australian government? Wasn't allowed to play Mortal Kombat because of the gore. Honestly, that would. Yeah, I was like, if I had shown interest, my parents would have been like, absolutely not. But I saw the gore and stuff. I was like, that just looks stupid. Like, nothing about it appealed to me. I didn't work the time after. Just let me have a nice thanks. Okay. I mean, hey, yeah, if you know, I love messing with audio stuff. So if you want to get a new mic, knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. Get you some big old headphones. I mean, probably you could put us on the TV. I don't think there's going to be much interaction for VTTs or anything. Mustache isn't here. He's on the road, I think. But oh, this is Ben's favorite character from Samurai Showdown. Did every fighting game just have a random green dude in it? Had a Meteor mic years ago that never worked right. I would like to see a new game do something weird with analog sticks like Ape Escape. Ape Escape! I don't know that one. It sounds silly though. Random green wild character. Yeah. Now, I think somebody said we have the strong guy, the little girl, and the green monster. Yep, we're good. Somebody in the server said recently, I think, didn't they? That in Street Fighter, Bison wasn't supposed to be the main villain, but it was a translation error. The green guy in that game was supposed to be the main villain. Or the big villain, you know, the BBG. I might be remembering that wrong, but I didn't know that until they mentioned that in the server. If that's even how it went. Shows how much I pay attention. But also, I didn't play a lot of tournament fighter games growing up. Now, when Smash came out, I got all over that. That one spoke to my soul. But I remember Clay Fighters 1 and 2. I played a lot of those. Y'all remember Bad Mr. Frosty? Let's see. Clay Fighters. Bad Mr. Frosty. That's why his Addams Family movies are the best ones. Ah! Isn't anything fancy with the mic, just something other than headphones. So here's Bad Mr. Frosty from Clay Fighters 1. Clay Fighters 2. Where's why is it showing me nothing for Clay Fighters 2? I played 1 and 2. Never played the one on the 64 because it looked very stupid. Oh, this is like such a small picture. There he is in 2. He got swole. For me, it was only Tuesday. You remember Clay Fighters? Heck yeah. Balrog was originally Mike Bison. Is that what it was? Yeah, Clay Fighter 63 and a third. I didn't play that one. Clay Fighters was so much fun. Dr. Feelgood. Instead of Dr. Feelgood, he was the banana. Oh, what is it? Clay Fighters, Dr. Feelgood. Wasn't he an extra character though? Yeah, he was a purple one. So it was normally Banana Man or Nana Man, whatever. And then everybody had an alternate skin thing you could unlock, but they were technically different characters. And he was Dr. Feelgood instead of Dr. Feelgood. Banana. And he was purple. Purple banana. Doesn't hold up to today. Clay Fighters or just the N64 one? Because I don't think it did very good at all. Fighting game around the time the first Mortal Kombat movie came out, but it wasn't Mortal Kombat and it was great to play with the soundtrack playing. There was a Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Clay Fighters. I've been watching the series from Matt McMuscles. He's on a crusade to find the worst fighting game, and there's been some that there's been several I had no idea existed, but man, there are some old like Windows 3.1 games that they're just so bad. Enjoyed Heritage for the Future. Got my ass handed to me so many times. Pet Shop was a mess. Killer Instinct, that's the one I couldn't think of. I didn't get my hands on that till way after the fact, after Killer Instinct franchise was pretty much toast. That one just completely missed me in my childhood. It seemed fun though. That was it? Killer Instinct? Is that what you were thinking of? Be neat as so. 800 hit combos. I like Super Smash Bros, man. It's such a fun game. And I've tried to play a couple other platform fighters, and it's just like, this sucks. Now, I didn't like Smash Ultimate. I love watching it, but I do not like playing it. It didn't feel right to me. But even if I did find a platform fighter I liked, I probably wouldn't play it because Smash was fun when you're playing with friends or in groups or something, but just by yourself, it's like, yeah, whatever. No, the Subspace Emissary thing was fun. Skeleton, robot, and ice guy, fire guy, ninja, and assassin lady, and a werewolf. Sometimes I just mash keys on the arcade console as fast as possible when we hit a really good combos. That's how a lot of people played. Smash community deserves all the bad things. Yeah, they're pretty terrible. But I still like watching the tournaments. But they are a pretty nasty bunch. I would say Soul Calibur was another one. There was a pool hall I frequented that had Soul Calibur. The first one. Tekken. Tekken was one I never got into. I did not like Tekken at all. And I feel like there was another one similar to Tekken. But I can't remember what it was. What's his name? Hungry Box they threw the crab at? Dude, I can't stand Hungry Box. I don't know anything about him. When I say I can't stand him when his thumbnails come across my feed. And, he's just doing a Parker's face like all the time. It's like, dude, you look like you're way too old to be doing that. I was at pool hall, I was playing pool. It was the only place I could cuss without getting in trouble. Look at you, little rebel, hanging out in arcades and pool halls. See what I did, there was this pool hall. It was really just I don't even know what you'd call it. They had arcades, they had food, they had pool tables. We just called it the pool hall because it was the only place we had that had pool tables. So I would go there and I would play 3 games of pool because they're 50 cents a piece. And then I would spend 1 quarter on Soul Calibur, and I could beat the whole game with 1 quarter, as long as I played as a samurai guy. It was almost a guaranteed win. And the guy with the spear, sometimes. And that was my routine. 3 games of pool, 1 round of Soul Calibur. Or 1 run. Bad at fighting and racing games, preferred RPG and sim games. Yeah. So, sports games or something I never did. But the racing ones, I tried a couple. And some I super duper liked, but most I hated. The Star Wars pod racing game on 64, that was fantastic. I loved that game. The Mario Kart games I played, but those were like with friends. Tried 1 or 2 Need for Speed ones, and I was just like, I hate these. The Lego Racer game, I absolutely hated. Beetle Adventure Racing, I hated. There's I had Wave Race, or not Wave Race. Hydro Thunder was the one. It's like I just hated them. I was like, couldn't do them. It's like, this sucked. Like and when I was little, I was just like, I used to swear up and down. I was like, the computer players are cheating. This is bull. Like, those things can't actually go that fast. And everybody was like, nah, you're just bad. Well, I love these videos that have come out later, that especially Mario Kart, that break down just how bad the CPUs or the computer players are at cheating. Because just the way they were programmed. It's like, see, I was right. I was right. How goes the shenanigans? It's alright, man. How goes? We like druids. Rubber banding is real. Dude, the Mario Kart on Super Nintendo, that has some... there's been a couple videos I've watched about how those NPCs, CPUs, whatever you want to call them, how they're programmed to do everything. And it's like, some of it's really advanced and creative what they did. And it's like, oh man, that's cool. And then some of the things they did were just so bad and so dumb. It's like, why'd you do that? It makes it so unfair. Yeah, but Kazdog, I am also bad at the fighting games. This is why I didn't play a lot of them, or very often, except for like the oddball like Clay Fighters. I just played front and back. Now my buddy he loved the arcade fighting games. He'd spend all his quarters on those, especially like a Marvel vs. Capcom, all those. Man, he loved them. I was just like, I can't do it, man. Pod racing arcade machine was insanely cool and hard. It's like 1 to 2. I don't remember it being on arcade. And it's like, is that a thing they do now, or is arcades pretty much out the window? Because I remember there was like a bowling alley and a couple other places. Like arcades used to be really cool. Like there was this one, like you sit in, you had the tank controls, and you have... Of course, arcades were always bullcrap because, you know, they're just trying to milk you for quarters, but the system, you know, this entire contraption they would make just for this one game. It's like, that's so cool. Guerrilla War on the NES, and it had unlimited continues. It was great. The friend, I think, would beat it in a little more than an hour. Great fun. I like unlimited continues. I'm bad at all video games. Nah, you just gotta find the right one. They were using their creativity and talents for evil. Soul Calibur was fun. I like weapons. There was a no health bar samurai fighter. Yeah, me and my buddy were just talking about that a couple days ago. Was it Bushido Blade? Was that the name of it? It was like an old PS1 game, and I think you were in a 3D environment, and yeah, you just get that one hit. There's like 1 or 2 hits, and you're out. That was a weird game. It was fun. Bushido Blade, yeah. So if you liked that, I can't remember the name of the game, but Scalagrim, he has a video where he was looking it over because, you know, the medieval historical accuracies and stuff. It's not so much the 3D run around like you did in Bushido Blade. It's more of the tournament fighter, but you can, like, you know, rotate like this, and it's different. I don't think different eras of sword fighting styles, but there's different styles. So, you know, you got the guy with the rapier, and then the guy with the big axe, lumberjack, and it's that one hit, you're out, but it's like hyper realistic and detailed and everything, you know, and like super precise hitboxes. It looks cool. Don't know if I would enjoy playing it, but it was fun to watch. It's in development. I don't know when it'll come out, and I can't remember what it was called. I was an arcade fighter game addict back in the... Oh, you too, huh? The only racing games I ever liked was Pole Position and Speed Racer. Speed Racer sounds familiar, but I'm not placing it. Realistic damage models, yeah. Sure, that's what we'll call it. What was it? Speed Racer. That sounds super familiar. Oh, it's the show. Okay, yeah, no wonder it sounded familiar. Didn't play that one. And I definitely don't recognize Pole Position. What am I gonna get if I search Pole Position? Oh, this old thing? What was it, like Sunset Overdrive or something like that? That was in every arcade for some reason. Some old racing game. Uh-oh. Apparently OBS took a dip. I think we're back though. It was very brief. Keep saying old. Old, Carrie. Old. Roller skates and arcade times. That's old. Namco Arcade. That's right. Hey, I'm that old thing too, you know. Getting older by the day. by the minute. But let me tell you how old and forgetful I am. I got some new glasses recently, and they're like got the progressive lenses in it, and I just can't do it. So I went to take them back today, and I had a bill from them too, or at least I thought I did. So I grabbed the case with the glasses, went out to the table, and was like, let me look at this bill and see if I need to bring it and discuss it. What's going on with them? Set the glasses case down, looked at the bill, and I was like, oh, this isn't actually a bill, it's fine. Set the bill down, walked right to the car and drove off without the glasses and got like halfway to the eye doctor. I was like, oh, wait. Yeah. Came back and got them. A Spy Hunter, a racing game. That also sounds familiar. I remember these names. Oh, wasn't that an old Nintendo game too? Might have it. I think me and Carrie were hanging out at arcades around the same time. Yeah. Might have bumped into each other. You never know. Got a Namco Cyberstation token and Aladdin's Castle. Oh! 2030 is less than 4 years away. Yeah! Say it ain't so. Okay, you're not that bad. See? I am. I don't know if it's because I'm old, but I sure am forgetful. My short-term memory is cooked, as the young kids say. It's toast. You remember when the art on the box for the video game was more... Dude, that's what I was just looking at for the Spy Hunter thing. I was like, old box art. It's crazy. Way to go. I had it. The old NES one. I lost it. It's crazy. Hey, you remember when the box had the game in it? MechWarrior arcade sims were the coolest. Yeah. Really want to make a Raspberry Pi arcade kit. That's what I was gonna say. Somebody was talking about the retro thing. Like, there was a girl I dated, and she really liked old Super Nintendo games like Donkey Kong Country. So I went and did the Raspberry Pi thing for her. Like, I know I didn't make it. I forgot what I did. I got something. Or maybe I did. Like, I bought a little Raspberry Pi, and my brother helped me program something on it, like load it up with the games and stuff. But it's like, I don't understand why more people don't do that. Like, I didn't particularly enjoy messing with the Raspberry Pi, but she didn't have like a computer set up like I did, so it made sense for her. But anybody who has a computer is like, why would you mess with that when you can just do it all on the computer right here? Just download an emulator and go. But some people want to kick back on the couch and play on their TV. It's like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense, but it's too much trouble for me. Chopped old thing, says the youngster to the squirrel. Oh, they're neat though, because like, I mean, if it's just your own little Raspberry Pi thing, put whatever you want on it and load it all up with a bazillion games. Heard some guys bought up a bunch of the old MechWarrior arcade pods and toured the US with them. Ooh, that'd be neat. They're apparently very hard to repair now and over 20 years old. Hi, cat. Hip Boy DMG, that's telling me to set up. You want to talk to people? No? You just want to scream from a distance? That gets her talking. I don't know if you can hear it. Spoiled rotten cat, sure is. She don't care. As long as she gets attention. Every stream. Red berry pie. I was confused. Raspberry pie. Or whatever they're called. They sure were popular for a hot minute. Like, just everybody was getting them. Like, oh, I can use it for this. I can use it for that. I can control my microwave with one. Yeah, man, she's got to earn her keep around here, Sage. Make her entertaining. Yeah. She's out. She gave Bean catnip. Alright, cat, I gotta put you down. I need my hands. Come on. Let's look up. See, you had covers like this, right? As your box art. It's like not really a screenshot of the game, but it is like what the game looks like. And then you had stuff like this. I don't know why that one's so big. It's just like, you know, a fancy drawing. It's like, well, the game doesn't look like that. But I sure miss this art style, man. I sure do. 84-page Explorer's Handbook. Yeah, that was also back when you're supposed to read the manual because there was like extra information in there. Android kind of took over the emulator space. Raspberry Pi and Arduino still have their niches, though. I don't know that other one. Stray cat keeps rats away from the house, and our cats keep the stray cats out. That's how they pay. What else can we get here? Oh, man. So we can't talk about old box art without going back to Mega Man. Airbrush, yeah, it is so good. That 80s, 90s style. Super shiny armor. So, you know, there's OG Mega Man. The artist did not get the memo. And then there's actually a whole story behind bad box art Mega Man, and I don't remember any of it. Then we had Mega Man 2, which at least they got him the right color. Now keep in mind, for those of you who may not know, you're in the way, cat. You're being annoying. Come on. Why is it so hard to find? Here we go. This is what Mega Man looked like in the game. Like, I don't know why the artist couldn't look at that and be like, okay, I can make that work. Like, did you not send them any reference material? Last gameplay that really required manual reading was Morrowind. Boy, howdy, does it ever. Keep that stamina high or fail at everything. Yeah. Morrowind is simultaneously fantastic and the worst thing you will ever play. Later, Wisp. Make all the money. Marathon Infinity game gave you the first hint that you were playing different timelines in the manual. Yeah, I missed the manuals too. Let's see. Wasn't until like, yeah, well, even Mega Man 3 was a little. I remember this cover. Seeing that at the video rental store. I mean, he's getting closer, but it's like, what are these weird ridges in his boots and his arms? But I mean, at least it's mostly there. He's just kind of swole looking. Big Man 2's plus my bad vision makes it look like he has a big neck. Kinda does, don't it? I remember looking in the book list for Zelda and thinking, oh, that's what that monster is supposed to be. Yeah. We're gonna get them all up here. Mega Man. I think, do they have it? No. And see, and some of them, I think anyway, had different versions, and some were a bit more accurate than others. Golly. Oh, what's 6 at least got it. Yeah. I remember really liking 6. Because you could get Rush and like a little transform him into things, like a little jetpack and stuff. That was super cool. But you know, took a few tries, but we got there. Morrowind being both the best and worst is true. Still nostalgic, my first series RPG I beat all by myself. I never did get, I got pretty far, but I never beat it. Of course, I never beat Oblivion 2. That's something I want to sit down and do with the remaster. You know, part of me wants to like take some of these games like that and go through them on streams and think, oh, this could be a fun thing to do. Like, finally, you know, play through this game, dedicate a couple hours every week to it or whatever. But I figure that will mess up YouTube, and YouTube be like, oh, this is a gaming channel. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll just do it in the Discord or something. Where is the Morrowind remake? We got the yeah. I would love a Morrowind remake. Only if you play them with your feet. Oh, well, we can't. We'll get banned from Twitch. You're not allowed to show feet on Twitch. That's a bannable offense. I am not joking. Feet are considered fetish material and not allowed on stream. But you know, your boobies can be all falling out while you're hanging out in the hot tub. That's fine. Oh, Ben, you got Sovereign's attention in the chat. Morrowind and Daggerfall Prime remake, but I never played Daggerfall. You demand the squirrel boobs. Can't do it, man. See, any number of Oblivion. What is that one where the guards, they're in Oblivion and one guard asks the others, like, how's it going today? Or something like that. And he's standing in the lava burning and the guy's like, I've been better. I feel better about having never been on. Twitch is so stupid. It's just, it's managed so poorly. That is, you know, there's a lot of things you can fuss about on Twitch, but the most egregious thing is their inconsistency on how they manage, moderate, and handle things. It's just inconsistent. Like, some people get banned for something, another person doesn't get touched. And I know no platform for anything can be 100% consistent, but they are wildly inconsistent. And they're also the same people that will issue temporary permanent bans. Which makes all the sense in the world. Twitch loophole. Wear feet-looking toe socks. Oh no! How are you? I don't want to talk. Yeah, that one. Blah. Unless it's the Twitch staff. That's probably what it is. It's just people on... That's what it is. The Twitch staff doesn't like feet. Yeah. But they're pretty bad. And they're notoriously bad, too. Like, they get called out all the time, but nothing happens, because I think Twitch is run by a bunch of children. So... When I say I think they're run by a bunch of children, I mean in the sense of how they handle it. It would seem that it is a bunch of incompetent children running the show over there. As far as like having favorites, and it's like, well, this person's okay because I like the things they say. Or I agree with what they say. Versus kind of like Reddit moderators. That's what's running Twitch. I'm looking at redone Mega Man box art. Just about to compare it to Twitch to Reddit. Yeah, as I was saying it, it dawned on me. It's like, oh, wait, that's just Reddit. Case in point, Hassan Piker. Yeah, boy. That boy should be banned for so many reasons. So many reasons. How it started versus how it's going. Man. I need to get some more playtest scheduled for Martian Stone. Oops, I didn't mean to adjust this. Wow. There we go. I wanted to see the 70s sci-fi movie that Atari Super Break. Oh man, the old Atari box art. What are you gonna do? Show this image of something that has like 2 whole colors in it? What is it? Atari Super. Yeah, these were. There's a few different ones. You can tell me which one's right. It's like, what did this have to do with the game? Like, it's a game where you throw a ball and break blocks. Draw something. It's like, I got you, fam. Astronaut. Space. It's crazy when we're out here in the squirrel neck of the woods and you've got... This video really says something. Movies based on Atari art would be 10 out of 10. That'd be challenging, man. Somebody spoofed space movies of the Tic-Tac-Toe and Breakout. Did they really? I mean, I'd be surprised if it hadn't been done. Dramatic space survival movie. Free internet Lord of the Rings fan art and illustrations are a fascinating topic. Yeah, internet, good and bad. I think each day we lean a little more into bad. Oh, what was it? Missile Command? Is that the one? I got an image in my mind. Trying to remember which Atari game it went to. This isn't it, but this is pretty good. Look at that. Keep in mind, this is what the game looked like. But I mean, what were you gonna do? What were you gonna do? I miss this art style so much, man. Just shiny metal. I love the super shiny metal. Look, it's so good. Just explosions. Helmets that make no sense. Old 2 towers covered with emus, so that puts saucy accents on it. Movie based on tic-tac-toe was called War Games. They didn't get it. You need new students. Oh man. So if I ever get to a point, there is. Yeah, I'll pull up some references here. If I get to a point where like novels are selling and I kind of have a name for myself for ttrpgs, you know, enough in the sense where if I make something, people will buy it, even if it's kind of dumb. I won't say terrible, but like, because I don't want people buying a terrible product, but like something that's just kind of silly, but they'll be like, hey, this is from Scrat. He makes silly, fun stuff. I really want. I can't find a good. I need a better picture. Hang on, gentlemen. And ladies. But ladies are already patient. I don't have to tell them to wait. It's the men that are impatient. Okay, so I really want to make a ttrpg where the whole book is this kind of art style. You know, super shiny metal, the 80s, 90s kind of art style from toy lines and stuff. But basically just ripping Z-bots. Like, you play as the robots and stuff, but all that art style is like what the Z-bots had back in the day. Things like that. I have no idea what the game would be. It'd just be an excuse to get the art made and put it in a book. Oh. What about a second Vegemite's image? Polished Grove. Yeah, man. It's so good. It's so good. I actually have this toy right here. I have this one. And this guy. I have top left and bottom right. I remember wanting this top right, but the store never had it. I think my buddy had that one. Dude, I loved Z-bots when I was little. So good. And I swear, so this toy right here. So this was a big thing you could... I actually had that little red guy. I had all these guys. This was like a big thing you could get. And I had it. And you will notice, right here, like there is no emblem there. Right? So there's the Z-bots and there's the voids. The voids are the bad guys. And the voids have some weird skull symbol kind of thing. My toy like this, this is supposed to be, yeah, the Ultimate Z-Bots Warrior. This is supposed to be the good guys ride. So like it probably should have a Z there. Mine has a giant emblem for the voids right here. And it confused me so much when I was little. And then as I got older, I'm like, did I get like a 1 in a million factory defect or something? Because I'll see pictures of people have these for sale somewhere, and it's like, there's nothing on there. And it's like, why do I have a weird one? So, I've never looked too far into it, but would be interesting. Yeah, when I get rich and famous, that's what I'm going to waste my money on one day. Least favorite NES game. My least favorite NES game is Legacy of the Wizard. I wanted to be good, but man, I could not figure it out. I watched playthroughs. It still doesn't make sense. Nostalgia trip today. Ah. Rose with thumbs, we love shiny things. Quite a few knockoff toys that you could tell were supposed to be something. We bought a lot from 6 Star. Man, I wanted all the Z-Bots. But worst NES game? I don't know, because, like, if I didn't enjoy a game, I just didn't play it. And then, yeah, just stopped playing it and forgot all about it, so it's hard to remember. Yeah, there were so many. That's the thing. Like, people, I know some people are like, oh, you don't make games like they used to. You know, they used to be so good. It's like, no. You're just remembering the ones you enjoyed. Like, that there were a lot of stinkers. Knockoff Optimus Prime was yellow and red. Bayou Billy was damn near impossible, but it wasn't bad. Yeah, I can't. Like, Afterburner, I could never get past, like, the 2nd level, but I still loved it. Still remember that tune. That was a weird game. We had some. This was what was so funny. So there was a handful of games on the NES that were Bible games. We had one. I think it was just called Bible Adventures. It was like 3 or 4 or 5 games in one, and they were freaking hard, man. Like, they were whatever games. They were hard, but there was a handful of those, and I think we had the higher quality one. Luckily, they were all illegal. Like, if those black cartridges that had the weird little divot in them or whatever, those were not sanctioned copies of video games by Nintendo. It's like, oh, that's funny. All the biblical ones, the Christian games were illegal. Bayou Billy is desirable because you can get the add-on chip that gets through the anti-piracy detection. Watch the whole video. Remember a game in which you were a little knight dude and your sword was generously 3 pixels long. Wow. Cut down the basic rules for my players and managed to cut down to 5 pages. Covers some of the things I would explain at the start of a session. There you go. And you can tell them, like, hey, this is just a quick overview. I'll go over the finer points before we play and as we play. Bible-based media could go so hard. Look at the Prince of Egypt. Yeah! Yeah. You're going to hell. Hang on. Yes, Bible Adventures. Yeah! This was it. This is the one we had. Like I said, it was a few games in one. They all kind of played the same, but man, they were hard. Like, the Noah's Ark one, you had to go get all the animals. You know, the animals didn't come to you in that one. You had to go get them. And they kind of spooked me, too. Like, the music was like, do-do-do, 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 do-do, do-do. Like, they were creepy. Just the way it looked. Spooked little me. What happens if we look up terrible NES games? See if I played any of them. I did not play Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. 15 worst NES games of all time, according to this article. Tag Team Wrestling, don't know that one. Friday the 13th, didn't play that one. Super Pitfall, nope. Operation Secret Storm, nope. Where's Waldo? I think I might have seen that when I was little and was like, holy crap, that looks awful. Didn't play Back to the Future, Gilligan's Island. I have never even played most of these. Mario's Missing. Played that on the Super Nintendo. Not the NES version. Ghostbusters, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Action. No, I don't know any of these ones. The Uncanny X-Men. Well, I didn't play any of those. The 20 worst NES games of all time. And the first one's the Bible Adventures thing I just posted. Athena, don't know that one. Bible Adventures is number 19. Hey man, that game, it worked. It was just hard as heck. Super Pitfall again. It's in hot. Yeah, I don't know any of these. There was some racing. Well, there wasn't even a racing game. That's why I thought it was a Super Spy one. What was that in Super Spy? That wasn't it. Oh, like Knight Rider or something. I just don't remember playing an old Nintendo game and was like frustrated with how bad it was. It was just like, no, this is too hard or I don't like it, and just turned it off. And I don't really remember that for Super Nintendo, but I remember some N64 games. I was like, this just sucks. No, I'm sorry, it's a sequel. Xanadu, that sounds familiar. Had much bigger swords, though when you attacked, the sword barely moved. Okay, one Spy Hunter. But I don't know. Yeah, but nothing like really stands out. I definitely have some memories of picking up a game and being like, that's it? Like Joust. It's like, there's not a whole lot going on here. And just didn't play it again. I was like, okay, whatever. I think what were some... Because I'm sure like 90% of my Super Nintendo time was Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3. Just playing those over and over and over and over again. Those are about muscle memory. I can almost blindfold that. Not really, but I mean, I can still just go through it. It all starts coming back. YouTube chat refreshed again. Dang it. Okay. What were some... Super Metroid. Well, we all love that one. I feel like... So there were obviously some stinkers on both Super Nintendo and regular Nintendo, but I think we dodged a lot of that because we weren't buying very... So the original Nintendo, my neighbor's Nintendo stopped working, so they just gave us all their games. And then another friend we had, the same thing happened. So we had a lot of Nintendo games that were just given to us, and we didn't have to go buy any. And then Super Nintendo, I think we just had so little money, we weren't buying that many. And then by the time 64 came along, we'd saved up some money, were able to buy more, and that's when the stinkers really started coming through. Because I remember a handful of 64 games, like, this is kind of bad. Like, I didn't understand bugs and glitchiness. Well, I was like, I knew you could glitch out a game and stuff, but I didn't understand how badly some of these things were put together. But I was feeling it while I was playing it. It's just like, wow, this game's weird. It doesn't seem to work right. You know, I was just confused, a child. And I remember a lot of those. But the Nintendo 64 was also one of those big jumps. Like, a lot of things went from 2D to 3D, and a lot of companies and studios didn't know how to do that and were figuring it out. Never catch Indiana Jones parachute on the brain. N64 games look like butt. I mean, some of them did, but like some of them were cool. Secret Societies now, we have the mansions, like 3 of the clubs. What happened? I don't know, man. It's horrible. Original NES was always my favorite because it was my first system and the graphics were so bad that I couldn't see how to do. Man, there's... I kind of I like the low poly look of N64. Some of them are cool. But it was also just wild to see things in 3D. Don't know. I can't remember an old NES game that really burned my bum. It's charming. I mean, hey, it did the job. Like, Mario 64 was fine. Jet Force Gemini was fantastic. Some looked terrible. Some were pretty bad. I would love a modern, well, you gotta be careful with the word modernized, because sometimes that means new, modern gaming features like live play service and all that. Say modernized, I mean put on a modern engine that can handle the load and smooth gameplay and some quality of life features. I would love that for Jet Force Gemini. Back playing Doom. Yeah, some of those old first-person games. Yeah. Very motion sickness inducing. Very much so. Man, so... Oh gosh, what was it called? Stalker. That whole series of games. I remember when that first game was coming out for the PC, and I was like, really wanted it as a kid, but we didn't have a rig that could run it. And then years later, when I'm on my own, got my own job, my own computer and everything, Steam had a sale. I was like, oh man, I remember this. Always wanting this. Let me buy it and try it out. I bought it, for a couple bucks or whatever, fired it up and played it, and I thought I was gonna puke. The movement and head motion was so bad. Like, you could disable a lot of it, but holy crap. Like, that one wasn't even that old compared to something like Dark Forces or Doom. Never had it when you first played. Yeah, I was saying, I could play Dark Forces all the time when I was little, but if I fired that up now, I'd probably just be like, oh god, I'm gonna die. I still want to try VR. I haven't got to do that. I really want to try that. I got a computer that can handle it. Just don't know if I have a wallet that can handle it. Because nobody's really, like, taking advantage of VR. Everything's just kind of gimmicky and experimental. Dark Forces, yeah, man. My favorite gun was... I don't even know what it's called, but it was so dumb. It was the one that had, like, 4 or 5 barrels on it, and you just shot the little green plasma things. And then you could shoot all the barrels at once. It'd mess up your audio because it just played the same sound file 5 times on top of each other. Let's see, Dark Forces guns. Jaron Fusion Cutter. Sure, whatever you say. Yeah, there it is. This guy. And like, what a nice, simple, clean interface too. There's your health, there's your shields, there's your ammo. Done. Easy peasy. Motion sickness. Took me 3 Dramamine to get through the first Avatar movie. Dusk is my favorite of the modern boomer shooters. Celtic is pretty dang close. Like, you think about it, what sense does that gun make? It's just 4 barrels, and you're like, what's going on here? It's so dumb. Oh. Anyway, guys, I'm hungry, so I think I'm gonna bounce off of here and go eat, because Thursday, when we rendezvous here at the whiteboard, we have to be productive. We got moss and stone to work on. So y'all be thinking about inclinations, because that's what I need. I need a lot of inclinations. We gotta fill out some tables. And then I guess I'll figure out how to buff the mole. Yeah. So in other words, do my work for me. We'll call it a community-made project. Moss and stone. That's right. All right. I will see y'all Thursday. Same time, same place. Appreciate y'all coming by.